Opening bit. 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 Opening bit.
This is where the bit goes. This is where the bit goes. This is where the bit goes.
This was our opening bit.
It was. Did you like it? I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it took a lot of brain power for us to put this one together.
It did. And, you know, we here at the Protagonist seat strive for nothing but the top quality opening bits.
Yeah, we strive for opening bits using all of those brain cells we have.
All 6 of them.
Thinking really hard. Thinking goodly.
We thought super goodly, dude. But let's get on to the show.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, and I actually enjoyed almost everything this week. Everything was really good this week.
Me too. This was a good guys. This was a good week in shows.
Starting with the weakest one on the list, Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not a good-looking Tiamat.
Somehow they managed to make bad. Well, it's. I want to say It's
not the worst CG. It's just like out of place considering it wasn't before.
Yeah, I want to say it's like they used the same program as whatever they used to make Bad Idol CG, but they weren't well versed in it, so it's even worse than that.
It looks like a God Eater monster or something.
It's not good, guys. You didn't do good this week.
Yeah, everything was looking fine up until now.
Yeah, I would say the show looked pretty good up until this moment.
But yeah, everyone's like, oh no, we are doomed.
Tiamat. Because they go and Ishtar shoots a fucking planet at Tiamat, and they think that she's dead, but surprise, she's not dead, she's back.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Some fries, motherfucker.
All rise, motherfucker.
Hot eyes, motherfucker.
These thighs, motherfucker.
These thighs. But surprise, she's not dead, and she comes back, and she's big, and she's very poorly CG'd, which I think is the true horror.
Yeah, and then the mud.
And the mud
destroy everything.
Big mud.
Yeah.
But then they release the fangs of a Mesopotamian word I can't remember or probably pronounce correctly.
And they can fast travel this episode.
Because they need to.
Yep, they fast travel back to Gilgamesh, and they're like, we're screwed.
And Gilgamesh is like, yeah, dudes.
But he's like, you're thinking of a plan, right? And Ritsuka's like, yeah, I'm thinking of a plan.
I'm thinking of the same plan you're thinking of. And then they call up the goddess of the dead.
Yeah, and then
because the
Kagal can just like, they got like a little mirror that they can talk to her through.
Yeah, because why not? Because the problem with Tiamat is the goddess or the deity of creation and life, which means that as long as something is alive, she can't be killed. So how do you make that which cannot think of death?
You put it in the underworld.
You send it to the land of the dead. But that's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be some time.
They need 3 days, essentially.
Give me 3 days.
Give me 3 days and I'll be able to do it. So, since Tiamat's going kind of fast because she's kind of big now, she did the Power Rangers thing. I get big now, and then they have to fight her. They need to get another day because she's going to be there in 2 days.
Yeah.
Storytelling purposes. So how do you stall it? How do you stall Tiamat? A very large thing.
I think foreigners do good damage to beasts. I don't know. You have to check. Just bring like Abby or something.
You summon Abby and Hokusai, and you bring them in. You bring in the foreigners. No, they don't. They don't do that.
They don't do that.
Instead, they turn to Ishtar with this. Surprisingly, they think Ishtar's gonna be good.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, you got the Bull of Heaven, right?"
Gugalana.
It's like, perfect. We'll just throw the Bull of Heaven at it. We got this. We're in the clear.
And everyone starts celebrating, except Ishtar.
And she's like, I actually lost the Bull of Heaven?
I lost it. I love Gilgamesh's face when she says it. He's like, what?
Because Ishtar is Mesopotamian Aqua.
Yeah.
Useless goddess.
Gilgamesh.
Dame Game.
Gilgamesh looks like he's about to just hit her with the Wall of Babylon. Just full force right there. But he doesn't. He spares her just once and gives her a worse punishment. She's forced to stand there with a tablet that says the
useless goddess.
Yeah, it's very good. I like seeing a lot of this stuff played out.
Ishtar bullying is good.
It's a lot of fun. So Gilgamesh is like, take 5, everybody. Just take 5. We'll figure it out next week.
Yep.
And by next week, I mean tomorrow. Tomorrow their time, next week our time.
Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen?
They might not be able to save this one, guys.
More like, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe they'll take another break. Because FGO
Jesus.
takes a lot of breaks for some reason.
They're like, they got like 2 or 3 left, maybe. Just force yourselves to go through it, guys. Just no more breaks, please.
Just do it!
Do it! Make your dreams come true!
Welcome to Demon High School Aruma-kun. So, surprisingly, where they ended off, they were like, all right, the winner of the Battler contest is... And then they blue ball everyone and make them have to go to the end ceremony for it.
And then they go right to the end ceremony.
Yeah, and so then at the end ceremony, turns out it's not Aruma's group. It's the broadcast battler.
And you know what? I think they deserve it a lot better. Those dudes
kept
did
everyone
a lot of,
calm.
Yeah, they did a lot of damage control when domestic terrorism was happening.
But Caligo Sensei shows up and he's like, this is normally where we would end this, but there's one more award we're going to give out. The Tricky Award.
Yeah.
The Tricky Award, apparently, is one they made up on the spot where one member of the battler gets to rank up.
It's their excuse to be like, hey, Aruma, you stopped this guy from blowing up the school here.
Yeah, so he ranks up.
He rank up.
And everyone's like, yay!
Yay!
And he realizes, Sullivan shows back up and he's like, look how popular my grandson is. And he's like, and to think you didn't want to stand out before. And Aruma thinks to himself, wait a second. I'm standing out really hard right now.
Oh, fuck. And then everyone has that oh fuck realization that, oh yeah, they will kill him and eat him if they figure it out.
Yeah.
But then we'll figure some stuff out later. I love how the bronze medal was the You Tried award.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And I think the succubi get it. No one gives a shit.
Yeah. And the B half of the episode is just fantastic.
It's so good.
So, everything's back to normal. He goes back to reading his the manga with Amari-san, and Amari's dad comes to school.
She sees him and she's like, hey dude, sorry, gotta dip. See ya.
And her dad's there specifically looking for Aruma. And he shows up behind him, and he's just got this menacing aura. Excuse me. Can you come with me for a second?
Are you Aruma? We need to talk. And then it just hard smash cut to them just sitting outside on a bench.
Yep. Just lovely picnic weather.
Oh.
And, yeah, it turns out the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because her dad does the exact same thing where he grabs him by the face and, like, smushes it and, like, looks at him. He's like, this kid's a human.
I figured it out. I've solved the mystery. But if he's a human, I gotta see if he needs help.
Yeah, blink twice. Apparently, he actually helps humans escape the netherworld.
Probably because he loves manga so much.
Yep, because I guarantee they have all of that because he's a fan of it too.
100%.
And it kind of flashbacks to when, because he thinks maybe Sullivan kidnapped this kid and he's torturing him or something, because it shows where the moment Sullivan leaves the prison in the previous episode, and I love Sullivan. Sullivan's awesome.
Sullivan is great.
Where they're telling him, excuse me, Mr. Sullivan, you have to stay until the paperwork's processed. Well, you have no proof, and besides, I'm gonna go, but we need you to... I said I'm leaving. And his face is, like, super demonic and detailed.
Yeah, it's
like,
awesome.
It's like you forget, like, oh yeah, this dude is the most powerful demon in the netherworld.
And then he turns into egg mode whenever his grandson shows up, and he's like, Iruma-kun!
Yeah.
You'll just love him. He's very well-rounded. especially in egg mode.
But yeah, so he thinks Aruma might need help. He's like, hey, listen, I can help get a human out of the underworld if they really needed it.
I've done it before.
But then Amari shows up.
And she's like, oh, shit, hey, Dad.
Yeah. She tells him, Dad, Aruma is actually one of the most proficient and greatest demons I've ever met.
Oh.
And he's like, it's rare to see you speak so highly of someone. And just the best stuff happens. She's like, well, we spend a lot of time alone in the student council's office, just drinking tea, having chats. And he's like, wait, alone? The two of you? What are you talking?
Drinking tea?
Yeah. What are you talking about there? And she's like, and she tries to think to herself, and then she realizes, I can't tell him about the manga. That's forbidden texts. So she goes to immediately, relationships and love, and his eyes burst out of his glasses.
Just repeatedly, too.
Yeah.
It happens like 4 times in a row.
And he's just like, relationships and love? And she's like, don't worry, we also talk about our future.
Our future?
And his eyes bust out of his glasses again, and it just smash cuts to him with a flashback of her as like a little girl, like, I love you, Daddy, you're the best. And
I'm
he's
gonna
just
marry you when I get older.
And then just him seeing her and Aruma at like an altar together, and his
Getting
mind
married.
just breaks.
You can't call me father yet. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh.
And he just basically mentally short circuits, so she says to him, all right, Aruma, I'm just gonna go take my dad to the office to see the chairman, so we'll just see you later.
See ya, dude.
And the guy is completely deflated.
He is out of commission.
Yeah.
Ah.
Good shit.
Both Amari and her dad are just great. They're just great.
Good family.
I also love how gobsmacked Iruma was when he was like, he's your father?
Mm.
Oh, you mean the dude with basically the same hairstyle and color and same like fox ears is related?
And also
What?
super tall.
What? That's insane.
And next week, it looks like we get to meet the girl with the purple hair, who I'm pretty sure is the girl with the white hair.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's idol time.
Yeah,
Devi idols.
Because she's been in the theme song, but she doesn't say anything, and she seems like they prop her up to be an important character, so secret idol, I'm guessing.
Yeah, secret idols.
Darwin's game.
Let's get into some death game antics, shall we?
So, they solved that thing with the little girl very fast.
Yeah, she's just hiding, and the dude is shooting around, and he gets the drop on her, and she gives up. Because she doesn't want to kill anybody.
Actually, she gets the drop on him. She's about to kill him, but then she can't do it. Like, it turns out she has split personality where her brother, like her dead twin brother, is, like, inside of her.
Yeah,
So they swap.
Yeah.
And he's about to kill him, and she's like, no, I don't want to kill anybody.
And they text each other. It's like Diavolo.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about during that scene was...
Yeah. Yeah, so her power is just to control water. His power is to control ice.
And he's much better at using his power than she is at using hers.
Yeah. So they have basically 2 sigils.
Yeah, which is kind of busted.
Yeah.
I think it's a little broke.
But they got to coordinate, and her personality basically keeps that from, like, happening.
Yeah.
Where they even realize, too, later on when she dries their clothing, they're like, wow, you could use this to just suck all the fluid out of someone's body. And she's like, no, I could never do that.
That's nasty.
Think about how busted that would be.
You could just kill someone.
Instantly.
Oh, this person challenged me? Well, now they're dead.
Yeah.
Instantly over.
They are a raisin.
Yeah, it's a little broken. But you know what? They fixed it with character patching.
Also, the main character arrives and saves his girlfriend and gives her, like, CPR.
And then they actually kiss.
Yeah, and they have a conversation while they're in, like, the hypothermia water, and I'm like, guys, do this outside.
Yeah, can we do this somewhere else?
She's like, no, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, guys, don't do this in the freezing cold water.
Yeah, there's ice walls, so that water's got to be pretty chilly. Maybe you should, not do that.
Yeah.
But they do it.
Then, turns out, the analyst girl realizes that none of their rings fucking matter.
Yep. It's not the real treasure.
Yep, and a bunch of new rings get added during the nighttime.
Diamond rings.
Yeah.
A round of diamond rings is dropped.
And Analyst Girl realizes that they have to go after those, so she is going to leave the hotel while the florist stays behind.
Because Wang is going to come.
The Wang gang is going to show up.
The Wang gang.
Yep.
And we also get a little bit of a scene where Wang finds one of the QR codes on the back of one of the rings.
Yeah, so Wang knows what's up to and that the rings are basically pointless.
Yeah, but he's still probably going to collect them.
So the florist stays and he just kills the shit out of all the guys that come in, and he fights a fire guy at the end, and I'm assuming they kill each other.
Yeah.
Again, the florist is not in the opening.
No. Florist is GG no re. Because he's like, I can't leave the rings because my daughter's heart. I need the points for my daughter's heart.
Yeah. And the analyst even says, hey, if I was your daughter and I found out my dad just died somewhere in some unknown place, that would make me a lot more sad than my heart condition.
So he's resolved to not die, which he probably is gonna anyway.
Yeah. So, the party is almost all together. Analyst just has to catch up with them, and then it's all good.
And then we're all good to solve the mystery.
Yeah.
Because I was right. It is coordinates.
It's coordinates.
It's coordinates.
Turns out the coordinates lead to Shibuya Station.
Turns out the coordinates lead to Shibuya Station.
Turns out those coordinates lead to Shibuya Station.
Now we're getting into some dangerous territory, so let's move on to Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun.
This was a really good episode, too.
Yeah, we learn a lot of, like, cool world stuff about the Wonders.
I really like number 4?
I believe he is number 4, yes.
Yeah, I really like the spider teacher.
The Library of Futures or whatever.
So they go to the library. It's just Nene and the younger Miyamoto brother.
The one who's not a shitter.
Yeah, and they're going to check out the books, and Nene sees her own book there, and so she decides to read it.
You know what? Reading your own future has never gone badly for anyone ever.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, past this point is the future, and then she starts reading it, but then the book starts, turning red and getting covered.
Full of blood.
Yeah, covered in blood, and a monster attacks them.
Yeah, it looks like a weird shadow Nene.
Yeah, and Miyamoto can't do anything about it because he has the seal placed on his staff.
Yep.
But then Hanako shows up and he just,
kills it.
Rules of nature! Slices it in two and it's done.
Yeah, and he has cape on.
And then the spider librarian shows up. Turns out he's like their actual teacher too.
Yeah, their teacher comes back and he's like, you ruined my book.
I'm gonna eat you. And then Hanako's like, alright, just stop messing around.
Quit messing around, for this ain't the time for that.
Turns out him, the fox, are both part of the, Wonders Alliance?
Yeah.
Which Hanako leads.
Hanako says they're part of, the Seven Wonder Alliance. Smash cut to, there's 3 of them, and the spider and the fox are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Not very, Seven or Alliance-y, some would say.
Yep. But, so he basically says that there's a traitor amongst the apparitions, the school wonders, that's actually, is the reason why number 2 went crazy recently. Someone
formed a pact with a human, much like Hanako himself has done, and is using it to fuck up people's rumors.
So Hanako decides that the best thing to do is to basically cancel out all the wonders for a short period of time.
Yep. I will go and I will kill everybody, and then we will fix that problem.
Because he asked the spider guy to give up his, I think it's his Yashiro, his, talisman that gives him all his power.
And he's just like, yeah, okay, but you gotta tell me an embarrassing secret. And you know what? They're kind of low-tier embarrassing secrets.
Yeah. But, yeah, apparently he only takes Nene to remove his Yashiro instead. Yep. So
he describes her as the priestess.
Yep. So he takes her, and after she removes it, she gets to see a memory.
Because I think that's going to be how it's going to go. I think she's going to see the memories tied to these whenever she breaks the seals.
Turns out it's a little rocky that he says is like, it's from the moon, apparently.
It's a moon rock that one of my students gave me.
And after she removes it, turns out that this guy has been a teacher there for a very long time, again, because he's an apparition. And one of his students was Hanako, back when he was alive. And his name was Yugi. Yugi!
It's time to duel!
And apparently Hanako must have died in the late 60s or early 70s, because it's right around the time of the moon landing.
Yeah. And the teacher before this mentions that he's only ever seen one person change their future.
Yeah, he mentions that he's only ever seen one person change their future.
Yep. Doesn't say who.
Yep. And so we find out that Yugi was a kid that loved the stars, and apparently he was either he got into fights a lot or was being abused by somebody.
Yeah, I am inclined to believe that he was being abused by some kind of authority figure, and that is the person he killed.
Yeah. And he gives his teacher the moon rock, which is why he has it as a Yashiro.
Yep. Here, man, take good care of it, because I'm going to freaking... I don't know. He says something ominous.
He decided that he's not going anywhere, even though he wanted to go to space.
He's never going to go anywhere again.
So, apparently, Yugi's book said that he would one day grow up to be a science teacher.
His love of science and the stars would take him into the teaching role at the very same school.
Yep, but he died as a kid, which is why that Hanako is the only person he's ever seen change their future.
Because he kills himself. He cuts his own future short.
Yep. And so, yeah, and the teacher spider really actually seems to care about him, because he constantly asks Nene, he's like, how does number 7 seem?
Yeah, how's he doing?
She's like, he seems fine. He's just like any other, like, normal kid. And he's like, that's good.
Good. That's good.
But, yeah.
And then Nene passes out and wakes up in the nurse's office.
I just realized he's Kaiba's voice actor saying Yugi.
Jesus. You think they did that on purpose? You think they were like, we need Kaiba for this. We need him.
I don't know. He's just a good voice actor. Whenever I hear him in anything, I'm like, that guy has a cool voice.
He does. He really does. He should be in everything.
He almost is lately.
Let's give him every character in every show.
He's been in like almost every season we've done so far, at least like 2 shows.
Even the women.
Even the women.
Even the women.
But yeah, he essentially he loses his power for a little bit now, and
he still keeps his form as the teacher because he needs that.
And Nene actually wakes up and she's in the hospital, and she immediately goes and hugs Hanako.
Yep, because
he seems all confused about that.
She just learned that her ghost friend killed himself and possibly someone else.
And she's also kind of realizing he is in fact a ghost. She hasn't really viewed him as like a dead person.
It sinks in.
Yeah.
This person has been dead for at least 40 years.
Yeah. And Hanako goes and questions his former teacher, and is like, "Hey, what'd you show Nene? Because she's been
Have you revealed something you shouldn't have?"
He has his knife like kind of behind his back, and he's just like, "I just showed her what was related to my Yashiro."
Yep. And
but then they banter for a little bit, and it's like good. He's like, "You never change."
You never change, Yugi.
Yeah. But I really like that character.
Me too. Actually,
it's a really solid character.
I'm looking forward to meeting, I should say, new characters, because I hope they're all just as good as the teacher.
Yeah.
And I hope the teacher shows up more, because he's cool too.
Somali and the Forest Pirates.
I was gonna look up another pirate movie to reference.
This is a dark episode.
Shit gets real dark.
So, I think her name's like Uzo.
Uzui, I think.
Harpy Girl.
Bird Girl.
Yeah, Harpy Girl is gonna try to, where we left off,
Tori-chan.
Yeah, kill Somali in order to get her blood to heal her father.
Yeah.
But, it's not... They end up going after her to find her, because he reveals to the golem everything that's happening. but Somali actually falls in the water and almost drowns, and Harpy Girl ends up saving her.
They did a little Chekhov's gun with, hey, Harpy's ears are very sensitive, so she screams at her and gets away.
Yep.
And then,
so she saves her, and then they're both kind of there just pouting.
Yeah. Harpy Girl puts a wing around her and starts to comfort her and is like, man.
Yeah. And Somali's not that upset because she realizes, like, you know.
I'm sorry I tried to murder you. That was probably no bueno.
It's okay. You love your dad. I love my dad. It makes sense.
Yeah, and then everyone is best friends.
And, well, they get saved, and the girls go to sleep, and the golem and the human have a conversation with each other, and he's like, yeah, you see this stuff coming out of my eye? You know how that kind of looks a lot like what's around Uzo's eyes?
I don't deserve to be her father. Because the golem actually, I think it's here that the golem lays down some, like, real wise-ass shit.
Yeah, about being a parent, and he's just like, I can't be. And he's like, I ate her mom.
I ate her mom.
And I'm like, oh. And so we get a flashback to his life. He had a wife and daughter, lived on a small, like, community of humans. But then the monsters showed up, which they call the grotesques, and basically just eat people, torture people, all the terrible things.
Yeah, they show up and do monstrous things and are monsters.
And he ended up hiding out in a cave with his family for a while, and then he's like, they basically lost all morale, they're starving, and he's like, listen, I'm gonna go out and just go do some scouting of the area. We can't stay in here forever or else we're gonna die. So he goes out, and he sees a harpy woman picking just berries and fruits and stuff. And immediately, just because he's like, it's a grotesque, he just rushes her with a rock.
And
she just looks surprised to see he's even there, and he just murders her.
Yeah, nukes the shit out of her. And he drags her back to the cave, and he's like, listen.
And it just gets real dark where he's like, if we want to survive against these monsters, we gotta be like these monsters.
Fuck.
And yeah, so they eat the woman.
They eat her. They eat her.
And for him, that's how his eye gets all fucked up, because they start growing feathers. And the wife and daughter, just really horrifying, just out of like every orifice, just feathers start coming out. And they're like, it hurts, it hurts.
And then they die slowly and painfully, coughing up blood and feathers. Because, you know what? I make a lot of, hey, this is where the hard turn happens in this show. A freaking hard-ass turn happens.
Yep.
And we watch two people slowly die.
And then he just ends up sitting there in the cave by himself when he hears, Mommy? And he's like, shit.
And then Tori Girl shows up.
So, yep, that's how those two ended up meeting and traveling together. And he never told her that truth, but she ends up hearing while they're in the tent. She's like, he's been lying to me this whole time.
Da-na-na.
And then they're traveling the next day together, and a sandstorm hits.
It was crazy. Everyone had like frosted tips and those black sunglasses from the Matrix.
A laser tag game just broke right out.
It was fucking nuts.
It was radical.
It was radical.
It was gnarly, dude.
Gnarly, dude.
Yep, but the sandstorm starts shaking their carriage, and Harpy Girl and Somali get sucked out.
Yeah, because she is at first holding on, and then she looks at the dude, and he's like, you gotta, and then she lets go.
Yeah. So she thought she would die, but her and Somali wake up perfectly fine, and since Golem is a golem, he's like, I've calculated the math at exactly where they would land in the trajectory of the angle.
I've also determined that they will land safely, so we should wait until the storm passes to go find them. Thanks, Golem. That's pretty goddamn impressive.
Yep, and so they find exactly where they are, and they're getting chased by a giant bug monster.
Yeah, which is it's a very interesting design. I gotta say, whoever does like the character and creature design for this show is fucking, they must be out there, man, because a lot of this stuff is very
cool shit.
It's very good.
But yeah, they end up Golem decides a plan. Listen, I'll be bait. I'll shoot at it because my body can withstand a couple of attacks from it. You go and grab the girls after. And instead, I think his name's Hattori.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hattori decides that he's going to instead sacrifice himself because
he feels bad.
Yeah, he deserves it, so he thinks that's the best way to go. So he ends up just getting its attention, running off. He's like, and Golem's like, wait, I was supposed to be the bait.
But he's running, he's like, we all know I would make the better bait.
Yep, so he's like, I'm going to die soon anyway, so it's fine. He ends up just running, coughing up a bunch of blood, and then finally collapsing in the sand, and is like, this is fine.
This is fine.
And he's like, this is how it should end. But then she goes and saves him.
She saves him, and the golem shoots the thing with their flare rifle.
And I guess it gets scared and runs off.
It's like, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yep, and so she finally confronts him about what happened and that she heard him in the tent. And she's like, why didn't you, like, did you not say anything because I could kill you at any time? And he's like, I'm completely fine and accept it if you kill me.
And she's like, well, you know what? Fuck you. Your punishment is don't die.
You have to stay with me forever.
Stay with me forever.
Forever. Stay forever.
Forever and evo and evo.
And they...
Evo.
And earlier in the episode when she hugged him, he didn't embrace her back, and this time they actually do hug.
They hug, guys. We got them. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a hug.
And hopefully things go well for them.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. I won't keep my hopes too high.
Seems like the theme, though, is like, probably not.
This show is kind of surprisingly grim.
Yeah, it's grim right under all... It's like a fairy tale where everything looks all nice, but it's like...
It's very dark.
Yeah,
got a lot of dark
it's got a seedy
undertones.
underbelly.
I'm also wondering if the humans are the one who initiated the attack now, because the monsters just, like, come into the village and start fucking people up.
Nah, but monsters are monsters, brah. Then
again, you never know.
Because we can't eat monsters, but monsters can eat us, so just think about that. Someone had to figure that out.
You know what? Yeah, this dude figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured it out real fucking quick. Show me your rock.
Show me your rock.
Show your rock.
So in this episode, Hoenn really wants to know why Hitomi keeps avoiding the subject of the band altogether.
She's being real evasive, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So she gets the advice from the two other bandmates, like, hey, you should give her plenty of nutrients and rest.
All of the searching and stuff just really probably took a lot out of her. Get her some good food and some good sleep, and she'll be okay.
She also does find out that she really likes the ocean for some reason.
Because oceans are nice, I guess.
Yep.
Or we'll figure out the real reason later. So she does, and that doesn't work. So plan B is, hey, we'll all go do something fun together. So they go to karaoke.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, why don't we go to this together? She has a conversation with her about, like, hey, you like the beach, so we should go to the beach. She's like, no, I don't like the beach. I like the mountains. It's like, but you were just saying the other day you like the beach. Well, I like the mountains now.
Well, I'm a mountain girl. I'm a mountain girl now.
And then she's just like, you know what, whatever, I need to go do something by myself. I'm going to go practice at the studio. And then she just runs off. And then she's like, but she didn't bring her guitar with her.
What? So she goes to the studio to investigate.
Yep, and so they all go to the studio, and they're like, hey, is she here? And he's like, no, like the manager there. He's like, she never came in today.
Shit.
And they all start looking around for her, and they're like, this is a case.
You know what? It is a case.
But they go back to ask the manager, because I think the manager is her uncle.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, all I know is that she goes to the beach sometimes when she's upset.
She goes and it helps her with writer's block, and they're like, shit.
And then Hoenn goes and runs to the beach and finds her there.
And they have a reconciliation, but it's hard fought. It is a hard fought reconciliation.
Because apparently Hitomi is used to people leaving her. So I'm assuming her parents must everyone who says I'm super talented abandons me.
Everyone who says they love me and they want to be with me forever leaves, which is she's the hurt girl. Yep. She's the hurt girl archetype.
But then Hoenn's like, I was dumb this whole time and I didn't think about anyone but myself, so I am sorry.
And Hoenn is dumb.
Yep, and they reconcile and then they stay on the beach together, and then they sing about a song about how they're such good friends and it's not gay, and then they hold hands.
But it's not gay though.
I'm not sure if it is. I think it might be.
Ignore the undertones.
Yeah.
Do not
At
look
this
at
po-
the undertones behind the curtain.
At this point, it's overtones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty gay.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah.
Because they eat fries. Because fries are the best on the beach, I guess.
Yep, they eat fries on the beach and hold hands.
Yeah.
But next week, we get to see the boys.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to more boys' antics.
I want to see what the boy band's up to.
What are the boys up to?
They punching each other through walls again?
Who are they fighting? That's what I want to know. Who's the conflict there?
Because it looks like they have a rival boy band for them.
Oh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
So I'm ready for whatever that's going to lead to.
Yeah. Centon
Academy. Join the pack. So in this episode, they have a transfer student who is one of the rarest animals in the world.
Panda.
Yep. A panda, straight from China.
Panda.
And after learning more about pandas this episode, because I knew they were like, they wouldn't fuck each other, so like that's the issue with the pandas.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, there's not enough pandas. And then I realized when they start explaining how much it takes to keep pandas alive, I thought to myself, fuck them.
Yeah, I was also thinking
if they don't want to exist, why are we spending all this money to like try to keep them going since they're clearly not interested in it?
The animals themselves are basically at this point like, we shouldn't. We gotta go. You gotta let us go, fellas.
Yeah, so that's my hot take of this episode is we should not try to keep pandas survive. We should just let pandas die off.
We don't
hot take. Let pandas die. They want it. Our taxpayer dollars want it.
We understand
even though it's China's, not ours.
Yeah, we understand that everyone likes pandas, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let them go.
Like, essentially, pandas are like falling off like a cliffside, and everybody is working real hard to pull the pandas up, and they're not even like putting any grip into that. They're just limp arm, just
It's okay.
Whatever, I don't care. Whatever. You guys have to do all the work. You guys have to save me.
And that's kind of the gist of the episode. The panda shows up and is like, wow, I am an idol and I can get away with everything.
Yeah, so she's a spoiled brat because she's used to getting whatever she wants. And Jin, of course, being the guy who hates animals, is like, she shows up at the cooking club and she eats all their snacks and she's like, wow.
Because they make panda food.
These are really good. I should just ask them for more because of course they'll make them for me because I get whatever I want. And she goes, I want some more. And Jin says, no, you stupid panda. And she just rings in her mind, stupid panda. And she's like, excuse me?
Stupid panda?
And turns out, he's just verbally abuses her, and she is a huge masochist.
She has a darkness complex. Yeah. That's what I've begun calling it. It is the darkness complex.
Yeah, she's just a masochist where she likes the abuse. And so she wants to join the club, but he's like, no. And she's like, come on, let me join. He's like, only if you get the approval of every single member.
And then she proceeds to buy off basically all of the members.
But there's one member that's actually hard to get her to like her because she's the ghost member.
The house cat.
Yep. Because the cats, if you know anything about cats, don't immediately warm up to new people.
That was his ace in the hole.
Yep, the cat. And because the cat has been there first, if she wants to stay in the club room, she has to go in a cage to make the cat feel better.
Yeah, they need to make the cat feel special even though she's there.
Yep, so they put her in a cage. And her manager is like a little red panda, which is more like a raccoon or something.
Yeah.
And it's all like, you can't be doing this. And they're like, I don't know. I don't think she minds. And she seems kind of like,
she's into it. Yeah. She's having a good time over there in that cage.
Yep. So she wants to warm up to the cat, so she decides to stay in the cage all night until the cat likes her.
And they're like, nah, you can't do that. And she's like, well, I'm going to do it. And then everyone's just, okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
And the cat shows up at one point in the middle of the night, and she's like, does the cat like me? And then the cat just leaves because, I really like how they capture the essence of a cat with this character.
They did a very good job. I'm a little surprised.
And then she wakes up in the morning, and then there's a blanket on her, and there's just one of the rats just laying there, like the naked mole rats.
And she's like, oh, she left a rat for me.
And he wakes up, he's like, oh!
Save me from the cat! No.
And so she ends up realizing that the cat likes her, and since the cat accepts her, she can join the club.
Yay.
But turns out the cat was not the one that put the blanket on her.
Yep, we get a little bit of context later where we see Jin in his room being a little chilly, and he puts that very same blanket around his shoulders.
So it was him.
It was him. Turns out Jin must like pandas.
Or just
Felt bad.
Yeah, he felt bad that she was staying in a cage just to, like, join his club.
He's a dick, but he's not heartless.
Yeah. And so she's now in the cooking club.
Yay! We have a panda now.
We got a panda.
We got a panda.
We got a panda. Let it die.
Let the panda die.
Imagine if China just decided, fuck the pandas, and were like, put the money towards anything else.
I don't know if we would want that from China.
Yeah, I guess as Americans, that wouldn't be good. So I guess,
Yeah.
yes, keep spending money on the atrophy bear.
Guys, the atrophy bear. I love it. Guys, we can't let the panda die or else China might get some big moves.
Yeah.
That's how much they're spending on pandas.
It's a lot of money.
They could shift the balance of the world's powers if they just let pandas fucking die. That's not good. We can't let them die.
Are pandas even, like, useful for, like,
No.
the ecosystem? Because I don't think there's
No.
enough of them in the wild that they affect anything.
I don't think there's freaking any in the wild. I'm pretty sure
They're all in, like, captivity.
I'm pretty sure that any that are left are just in captivity. Because that's how endangered they are.
We should put more money towards tigers.
Yeah, tigers are a lot cooler.
Yeah. Tigers are just better.
Tigers are better. And you know what? Tigers are a species that has proven that they don't want to die.
Yeah.
Not like the atrophy bear.
Yeah, they're like the dodos of, like, bears.
They're designed to go away. I actually heard a story a while ago about a bird that went extinct and then re-evolved itself into existence again.
It wasn't the dodo bird, right?
No, that's gone. That's gone for good. This was like some kind of small finch or something.
Honestly, that would be... The pandas are like if the Canadians tried to keep the dodo bird alive.
Yeah. Guys, let's bring back...
Don't fuck with birds, though. Like, because Australia lost a war against the birds.
That's true. Don't fuck with birds, guys. Birds are dangerous, dude. Birds are freaking dangerous. Almost like faceless ghosts.
In Spectre.
Imaginary monsters from the mind.
So, in this episode, they lay out their plan for how they're going to beat the ghost.
Creepypasta is real.
Yep,
so we need to fight the creepypasta with our non-creepypasta.
They essentially need to create a better story, so people will stop talking about the other one, and then the ghost will lose power.
But to do that, they need to learn some actual details about Nanase Karin's death.
Yep, and they specifically want to do this through Saki because she's a police officer, so they need information that only the police would have access to.
Yeah, she gets that good info. And conveniently enough, she has a dossier hidden under her pillow.
Yep.
That's where I keep all of my sensitive information.
Under the pillow.
Just right where I sleep.
Are you being sarcastic? Do you not?
It's the perfect plan, dude. If someone comes in and shoots me in the head while I'm sleeping, it goes right through the information and it's ruined.
And all your blood would leak on it, so it's
Can't
illegible.
read it. It's the spies. All right. I'm not going to copyright this idea just for the intelligence community. I'm doing you guys a solid. I expect each and every one of you to owe me a favor. So if I need it, I can come to any one of you.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Cash
Having a bunch of spies in debt.
That would be dope as hell. But there's no spies in Inspector. None. I don't think.
There's spies in Spectre, the James Bond movie,
No.
but not Inspector.
No. Let's not talk. No. Wrong Spectre. No. So they go about doing it.
Yep, and so they also go to get an eyewitness for information. But Saki's like, it's been 6 months and it was an isolated location. How are you going to find a witness?
Ghosts.
So they go and they summon the ghost of a worker who died there. Apparently a lot of people have died at this construction site, so...
Construction is very dangerous. I also like how...
I don't think construction is supposed to have that many fatalities, though.
No, probably not.
I guess in her case, though, she was trespassing, so...
Yeah. So it's fine.
But those steel beams should have been kept better.
Big titties can't melt steel beams.
So we do find out that she had a sister that would have benefited from her death.
Yeah.
But she actually did die of a accident/suicide.
Because the worker ghost saw it.
Yep, so he saw that she came there to smoke in private, and the beam started to fall, and she just sort of let it happen.
Yeah, she didn't even put up her hands or anything. No defense necessary. I also like how she summons the ghost with like a magical girl thing where her staff lights up and she draws a pentagram in the air with it.
And she's like, it's a priestess ritual. And Saki says to her, what kind of priestess draw a pentagram?
And Kuro is like, she just likes to do that. Just let it happen.
And they get that information, and they part ways with Saki, and they go home on their... Well, she sits on the back of his bicycle while he walks it.
Yeah, and they have a discussion.
Yeah, and they mention... He says to Kotoko, he's like, you didn't say anything about her to Saki, right? And she's like, no, also, we don't know if she's even involved in this.
So we're going to keep that one close to the vest.
Yeah.
I don't know who her is.
I do.
I don't. Is it the real one? Is it the real one?
No.
Is it the fake one?
No.
Is it the imaginary one?
Not either.
Is it Slender Man?
No, it's a character that hasn't really been like fully explored yet.
Oh, cool.
It's been mentioned but not explored. But we'll see.
We also get we close off with one of the saddest deaths. The man who has been investigating this.
She even says, she's like, yeah, it'll be easy to come up with the story. It's just, hopefully there's no victims in between, because that'll make it a lot harder on us. But honestly, as long as no one approaches her.
As soon as
and
I
then
said
smash cut.
As soon as she said that, I was like, don't you fucking say that. Don't you do that.
And then, boom, policeman. He's like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm a police officer. What are you doing here, sneaking around this gas station in the middle of the night without a face?
Where's your face? Don't you know it's law that everyone has to have a face?
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to put your face on right now.
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to step away from the steel beam and put your face on.
Alright, we got some resistance going on here. And then he goes to, like, judo punch her, and of course...
She's a ghost.
So his fist goes through... And then he takes a steel beam to the face.
And now he's dead.
Yep. And that's going to be all over the news. So now their job just got a lot harder.
And it was someone I liked, too.
Rip policeman. You died in the way of duty.
You died in the line of duty. You didn't save anybody, and you probably made the problem much worse.
Yep. You tried to punch a ghost. Not one of your brightest moments.
But we learned from his mistake.
I hate getting hurt, so I put my skill points into defense.
Hey, what happens if you put all your points into attack?
You're slow, but you break everything you touch.
Yeah, we meet those people this week.
Yep, so they're looking around for guild housing, because they, were like, yeah, we want to get a guild house.
So they call all their friends, and they're like, hey, guys, we should start a guild. And everyone's like, fuck it, sure.
And they find a guild house that's a tree in the woods.
Yep. They basically wander into a garden, and there's a cool treehouse hideaway.
And they just, like you said, they find all the people that they've met so far, which includes the crafter girl, the shield guy, and the samurai girl. And they're like, yeah, we'll just form a guild. That sounds cool.
And library girl.
Oh, yeah,
who
and library
they
girl.
played chess with once.
Yep, so they form a guild, and they think about it, and they're like, hey, there's another event coming up, so we should try to recruit more members.
Yeah, we gotta recruit more members.
Oh, and they named their guild Maple Tree.
Yeah, as soon as they were in the tree, I was like, they're gonna fucking do it again. They're gonna do it. They named the turtle Syrup. They're gonna name it the Maple Tree.
Yep, so it's Maple Tree.
There's gonna be a lot of that.
Well, no one's gonna move that guild house now.
No, that's there for good.
Yep. So they decide, hey, what if we would try to recruit in the starting zone, which answers our question of what happens to the starting area.
It's just still more starting people. It's just a lot more empty.
Yep, so they go there, and they see these two girls who are all like, aw, man, we min-maxed.
We didn't do it good enough, but we've come too far. We can't just freaking make new characters.
So Maple and Sally talk to these girls, and they're like, hey, you guys min-max strength? That's pretty cool. I min-max defense.
It's the perfect pairing. You guys should join our guild. And they're like, I don't. Are you sure?
Are you sure you want us? Yeah, come on, let's go to the second level. We'll just beat the boss for you so you can get there. Because nothing's fun like a video game when someone does everything for you.
Yeah, they beat the stag boss again and just bring everyone to the base.
Yep. And so they join the guild. They're really happy, and then they go to bow, and they just bang their heads against the table and shatter the entire thing.
They shatter it. It
just cracks right down the middle, and just poof, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive."
I guess they did really put all of their points into strength. Okay.
So yep, they're the weird min-max guild.
Yeah, guys, they got a Misfits guild.
Yeah, we do get a cool scene of them going off doing stuff. Like one group goes into the cave to search for items, and another group decides to start fighting monsters.
I like Library Girl. We learn about her weird cube thing a little bit more.
Yep, it is just a random dice roll of a different skill every day.
Yeah, and luckily she gets mining one day, so they go to mine shit.
Yep. Good shit.
It's cool.
A lot of good stuff this week.
Yeah, this was a good week, guys.
Specifically, I think Somali, Hanako-kun, and yeah, I'd say those were the heavy hitters this week.
Yeah, we'll keep it down to 2 because we give it any more leeway, we're just gonna say the whole list.
Yeah.
But the whole list was good this week. So if you want to see if the list is gonna be good next week, follow us on whatever you're listening to us on.
Yep. If this is YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button, do all the YouTube stuff.
Leave a comment. If this happens to be Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music. I believe that's everything.
Yeah, just follow us on there.
Yeah, subscribe on that source. Leave reviews on that source.
Yeah.
Leave little hearts. We are on social media.
Leave big hearts.
Leave big hearts, dude. Big heart energy.
And follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, at Protagonist respectively. We post every time we have a new video that goes up there.
Yeah, and any future channel updates, which you should keep your eyes out for, we will also post there.
The end of this season, we get a big update.
Waiting for the world to change.
We got 6 more weeks until then, but still, big update, big stuff happening.
It's foreshadowing, guys. We're setting up.
We're setting things up.
Yay! Yeah. Stick around.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Smell you later.
Yeah. That's rude.